Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Global English 1 students, and welcome back to our second week back on online classes. I hope that you're all doing very well and staying very safe. I'm going to try to go very quickly through all of the slides for this week. We have more slides than usual, but it's not going to take much longer than usual. So please bear with me. Be patient and we'll get through this. Okay, so first of all, I want to announce that we're going to have a Zoom class next week. Zoom class next week, okay? It's not mandatory to attend, but if you do, it's going to count for your attendance for Iron날, the Children's Day class. We have to make up the Children's Day class, okay? So I'm going to do it there, and I'm going to count your attendance for the Children's Day if you attend this Zoom class, okay? And I'm going to post the Zoom after we're finished. I'm going to post the Zoom class on our page, okay? Okay, so today's agenda, first we're going to be talking about the vocabulary. We always do vocabulary. We're going to talk about the present perfect tense, which I believe we've talked about before, but we are going to review that again. And then we're going to talk about some more shopping expressions because I think shopping is very important. Many of you are going to shop when you go abroad. Many of you already have shopped. So it can be a very useful thing to talk about for us. And we're going to talk about comparatives and superlatives, and actually we're going to combine shopping and comparatives and superlatives. If you remember from last week, we already talked about comparatives and superlatives, but we're going to talk about them again in relation to shopping, okay? In relation to shopping. So again, any questions, please send me an email. Don't forget, next week our Zoom class is going to count for attendance. If you can't come, the Zoom class will be posted on our class portal the following week. Okay, so vocabulary unit 8 sports. Vocabulary unit 8 sports. Don't forget that this will be on the final week of class test, our final test. So the first word is score. Score, of course, to score a point. And this is a verb, 동사, to score the point. He scored several points last game. To make a point in a sport. And that is a verb, right? We also can have score as a noun, right? And in this case, it means I checked the score of the game. What is this one? Well, in fact, this one covers basically the same idea. What could that be? What's that called in Korean? Well, in fact, in Korean, you've taken an English word for it, but you also have a Korean word. That's right. This word can be two things. It can be rumor or gossip. Okay. A rumor is kind of singular. He started a rumor that I got an F in global English class. He started a rumor. So it's like a story that's not necessarily true. But gossip is just in general. He gossiped about me. Okay. In both of these, river is only 명사, only a noun, whereas gossip can be a noun or a verb, 명사 or 동사. Okay, so that's the difference between those. Rope. Of course, you guys all know rope, and this rope is almost always just a noun. There are some ways that it can be a verb, but generally it's only a noun. How about this one? When you look at this guy, what feeling does he communicate, do you think? That's right. He's confident. That's the adjective, 형용사. The verb is, that's right, the verb, well, I'm sorry, the noun is confidence. Confidence, right? And this one is of course, this is a noun, right? And it is cliff. I chose the cliff in like a 강원도. It's like the edge of a hill or a mountain, especially if it like overlooks the water. Okay, so something that is the same between two people or two things, this is called a something, it's an adjective phrase, and it's called in common. In common. We have this in common. Okay. Korea and the United States are both democracies, 민주주의, right? They are both democracies. That's something they share in common. So we can say we have it in common or we share it in common. This is a little bit hard to explain. Okay, to talk about something else, especially about something else that you're introducing, we say to refer to, refer to. I can tell you if you're not sure about one of the vocabularies, then please refer to the book. If you want to find out about something that we studied in another lesson, then please refer to the older videos. And that is a verb phrase, a verb. And of course, I think everybody knows this because Koreans also use this word in Korean sometimes, right? And that word is, of course, a gym. This is an adjective. And it talks about something that has many details, is detailed. Detailed. They have many, many things listed in it or seen in it. This picture is very detailed. This week, our lesson is very detailed.
The present perfect tense.
Okay, so let's talk today about the present perfect tense. How do we discuss the present perfect tense? Well, to make the present perfect tense, we have to add the pronoun I, you, we, they, plus have or haven't, plus a verb, past tense of a verb. Okay, or he, she, it, has, hasn't, plus the past tense of the verb. So when we talk about the present perfect tense, we're trying to talk about something that has happened in the past and has or hasn't happened up to a certain point in time. So rule one for the present perfect tense, if we're talking about an event which happened in the past, and if we don't give an exact time, like yesterday, 2 days ago, last week, we can use the present perfect tense. The exact time is not important. Remember, the exact time, yesterday, 2 days ago, last week, is not important. In this case, we can use the present perfect tense. So, I have bought a new house. I have made some changes. I have painted the walls blue. I have changed the curtains. I have removed the carpet on the stairs. So you can see the before picture and you can see the after picture. So you can tell the difference. It does not say yesterday or last week or 2 days ago, right? Therefore, we have present perfect tense. Have plus the past tense of a verb. Can you make a sentence about something that's happened this semester? We've studied English this semester. We have met twice this semester. In rule two, we often use the present tense to talk about a continuing situation. This is a state that started in the past and continues in the present and will probably continue into the future. It's a state, it's not an action. We usually use for or since with this structure, for or since. So remember, if you want to make present perfect, you can use for or since to talk about the present perfect. David has been at sea since July. He hasn't seen his family for 5 months. Sam became a shoemaker in 1970. He's still working. He's been a shoemaker since 1970. Rule 3. We use it for an action which happened in the near past, so not very far, not very long time ago. And it has strong connections or effects to the present. Yes, to the present. I've broken my arm. It still hurts. You walked in the rain yesterday and look, you've got a cold. You look very bad. You have got a cold. See that present perfect? Rule 4, if we're talking about a period, today, this morning, this week, this month, this year, this century, which hasn't finished, then we can use the present perfect tense. Remember again, it's something that has not finished. Would you like to go to the cinema, Yonghwa-gwan? No, thank you. I've been to the cinema twice this week. Cinema, are they kidding? I haven't watched TV this month. He looks very busy. 5. Lately or recently. These words give us information about the events that happened in the near past. They don't give a specific time in the past, so we can use the present perfect tense. Have you seen any good films recently? Film, of course, is movie, 영화. Unfortunately, I've been very busy lately. There has been a great progress against cancer recently, especially Korean scientist Minju Kim, who won the Nobel Chemistry Prize, has found Rule 6, already, just yet. We also use these words in this tense, the present perfect tense. The room is dirty now. Have you sent the emails yet? Of course, boss. I've already sent them. The washing machine is still working. Hasn't finished yet. This is Kyungmin. He lives in Busan, but he's not in Busan now. He's been in Egypt for a week. He's gone to Egypt. He's been in Egypt for a week. And his mummy says, I've been here for centuries, right? Ha 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 ha. Ooh, scary, right? Okay, let's review a bit about it. So 1 hour, I've been talking for 1 hour. I've been reading the newspaper, right? For over 2 hours. And I've been waiting for the bus for 30 minutes. Okay, so next let's try to join these sentences together. I started playing piano when I was a child. I still play. I have been playing the piano since I was a child. So this is a little bit different of a formation here, as you can see. We mean something a bit different, So let's see if you can copy this form. Have been, the past participle, plus the verb, plus ing. Oscar began smoking when he was a student, and he still smokes. Barbara loves opera. She started listening to this music when she lived in Italy. Mr. Bennet began working at Vermont when he finished university. Cindy loves Rome. She moved there a long time ago. Kelly is a teacher. She began 3 years ago. Sheila moved to France 4 years ago. She still lives there. Lana is waiting for her friends. She arrived 20 minutes ago. "50 books. She finished them this morning. She hasn't finished. Transform these sentences. The Bennets have been married since 1985. Becomes the Bennets have been married for 25 years. Karen and Ellen have known each other since 1995. Janet has had her car since April. I have been here since 5 a.m. Jeff has been unemployed, not working, for 6 months. Mrs. Bennet has been a housewife, buoyant, for 3 years. Santos has been the president since 2010. Look at all those shoes. Shopping time. Shopping for new shoes. So let's change up our topic a little bit here to talk about something else. We're going to go through this a bit quickly though. Sale time. Welcome to Kenny Shoes. We're having a sale. That's great. I need some shoes. What do you have on sale? Well, we have Silver Gyms and Cool Walkers. Cool Walkers are inexpensive, comfortable, and easy to clean. With tax, just $39. About maybe 46,000won, right? Maybe 47,000won. $39. Slim Jims, however, with tax, are $47. They're famous, high quality, and fashionable. I think these vocabulary words are easy enough for you guys to understand, right? What do you recommend? Well, Silver Gyms are more fashionable and higher quality, whereas Cool Walkers are not as expensive and They are more comfortable. What's the price? With tax, the Silver Gyms come to $47 and the Cool Walkers come to $39. So that's about an $8 difference. That's right, the Silver Gyms are more expensive. So remember, expensive is an expensive three-syllable adjective. So we put the word more before it. I'll take the Cool Walkers. How would you like to pay? I'll put it on my credit card. See that preposition we talked about last week, on my credit card. All right, here's your receipt, if you remember that shopping word. Have a nice day. Thanks. That's right, the Silver Gyms are more expensive. Grammar focus on comparatives. We talked about, I think, in our final week of class. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do our little shopping game, but so there are many ways to compare things. Often we use an adjective, 형용사, in one of the following sentence patterns. So cheap and easy to use, cheaper than, easier to use than. Comfortable or powerful, more comfortable than, more comfortable than. Not cheap, not comfortable. Not cheap as, not as comfortable as. So not as cheap as, so Nikes are not as cheap as New Balance, but New Balance are not as comfortable as Nikes. Actually, I like Saucony. They're cheap and comfortable, and they last pretty long. What do you guys think? What's your favorite brand? It depends. I used to buy Vans a lot, but they always wear out very quickly. Okay, so the advantages of cool walkers. So what can we say? Well, first of all, cool walkers are not as expensive as Slim Jims, right? You know, advantages of Slim Jims. They're more durable than cool walkers. So durable means they don't break as easy. They don't tear, they don't get worn out. For instance, I used to buy Vans, but I found they're not as durable as Saucony. Well, let's look at these burgers. We have the Lumberjack burger. It's spicy, delicious, and filling, and it costs $7.99. So filling means if you eat it, you're not hungry after. The vegetarian sub, it's not greasy, it's low in fat, and it's healthy. It's $6.99. So what's the difference between these two things? The Boss is comfortable, powerful, and roomy. The Vroomette is inexpensive, compact, right, small, and environmentally friendly. So the Vroomette is more inexpensive than the Boss. It's more compact, and it's environmentally friendlier, or you could say more environmentally friendly. It depends which one of those adjectives you put the emphasis on. However, the Boss is more comfortable than the Vroomette, more powerful and more roomy, right? It has more room. So let's look at computer software. Although nowadays it often does not even come on a disk, right? It sometimes still does. And in fact, I find disks to be very useful sometimes. But the Account Doctor software is fast, affordable, and easy to install, whereas Budget Master software is safe, easy to use, and reliable. So the Account Doctor is faster, more affordable, and easier to install than the Budget Master. But the Budget Master is safer, easier to use, and more reliable than Account Doctor. So reliable means it doesn't break or it's more useful. Okay, so let's talk about the comparison of adjectives and let's learn something new. Okay, so let's talk about the degrees of adjectives. They're divided into 2 degrees: comparatives, equality, inferiority, and superiority. Superlatives, inferiority or superiority. So equality means same, inferiority means better, inferiority means worse, superiority means better. So it's better than, it's worse than, and so on. And it's as good as, of course, would be equality. So, for instance, adjective, as. He is as tall as she is. He's as tall as her. He isn't as tall as us. He isn't as good as us. Comparative inferiority, so that means worse. Less than, less interesting than me. The car is less expensive than that one. The chair is less comfortable than that one. Comparative superiority, it's better than. So ER, adjective plus ER and than. John is richer than Paul. So what is a comparative form? The comparative form expresses the idea of more. Faster. My car is fast, but his car is faster. What's an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. So big car, big, fast, and expensive. Syllables. One syllable adjectives: fast, big, cheap, long. Two syllable adjectives: happy, crazy, dirty. And three syllable adjectives: important, wonderful. And the comparative of superiority. Not ending in OW, ER, LE, or Y, then it's more, adjective than. Comparative of superiority. The book is more interesting than the film. Your brother is more handsome than John. Comparative form with one syllable adjectives, long, two syllable adjectives ending in Y like funny, what other 2 and 3 syllable adjectives like modern and irregular adjectives like good becomes longer, funnier, more modern, and better, as we reviewed in class last time, if I think you probably remember. And the superlatives of inferiority, meaning they're worse. So the least plus your adjective. This car is the least expensive of the agency. You are the least short in the classroom. And for superlatives of superiority, they end in OWERLENY, the blank plus EST. John is the richest man of the city. Ending in OWERLENY again, the most plus adjective. Superlative of superiority, he's the most careless driver that I've ever known. Summary comparison. Okay, really quickly. Longer, longest. Funniest. Try to guess the next one, of course. Funniest. More modern. Most modern. Better. Best. Let's look again at the comparative superiority. Special cases. So these are ones that might be a little bit strange, right? So adjectives, comparative superiority. Good is better than, which we talked about also in class a bit. Bad is worse than. Far is farther than. So Kazakhstan is farther than Japan. Further than, okay, a little bit different, but ill, worse than. Comparative of superiority, special cases again. Much is more than. Many is more than. Little is less than. I have a little and I have less than you. I have much and I have more than you. He has many, he has more than me. Few, I have few. In fact, I have fewer than everyone. He's little, he's smaller than me. And we can talk about things that are gradual increase every day. In this fall, it gets colder and colder every day. This is also a kind of comparative, but we use it a little bit differently. More and more. I grow more and more interested in Korean every day. I get better and better at Korean every day. You get better and better at English every day. He's more and more famous was the last example. Let's just go quickly over this so we can finish as quick as possible, guys, because I know you have many, many classes, but let's do some exercises really quickly. Old, older than, the oldest. Remember, we need that article before it. Cheap, cheaper than, the cheapest. Pretty, prettier than, the prettiest. Happy, happier than, and you guessed it, the happiest, the happiest. Comfortable, more comfortable than. Saucony are more comfortable than Nikes. The most comfortable shoe, however, are Vans. Cheap. Saucony are cheaper than Nike, but the cheapest are Vans. Pretty, prettier than, the prettiest. She is prettier than my girlfriend, but she is the prettiest in the class. Happy. English makes me happier than math. However, science is the happiest of all of my subjects. It makes me feel the happiest. That's not really true, but when I was young, I liked it. It made me happy, but I'm not that good at math. Big, bigger than, the biggest. Clever, cleverer than, or the cleverest. In fact, in English, we sometimes can say more clever or most clever. Both of those are accepted. Both of those are accepted in a native speaker's ears. Of course, you already know gooder than, good, better than, and the best. Bad, worse than, and the worst. Expensive, more expensive than, the most expensive. Narrow, so narrow means like skinny, right? The road was very narrow, we couldn't pass. Narrower than, the narrowest. And this is another one I think I can kind of accept, more narrow or most narrow. Beautiful, but beautiful can only be more beautiful than or the most beautiful. Who is the most beautiful Korean celebrity? Ugly. Of course you know, uglier than, and the ugliest. And of course, let's think about adjectives opposite, right? Bande words. Thin, fat, old, young, strong, weak, rich, poor, big, small. The elephant is bigger than the ant. The elephant is one of the biggest animals on the earth. The ant is small. It's not one of the smallest animals though, because like bacteria and stuff are even smaller. And yes, in English, an ant is considered, insects are generally in English considered animals because they're part of what we call the animal kingdom. Okay, fast and slow. So the Formula One car is faster than the bike, and the bicycle is slower than the Formula One car. Again, the Porsche is more expensive than, well, I guess this could be many different things, right? And it's cheaper than, I guess that it's a Porsche, I think. I tried to find these cars here. Mini Coupe, right? The Mini Coupe is cheaper than the Porsche. I think that's what they are. I think that is what they are. I'm not 100% sure about that. But the Porsche is more expensive than the Mini Coupe, and the Mini Coupe is cheaper than the Porsche. That might not always be true, but generally that's true. I don't see many Porsches in Korea. I do see a lot of Mini Coupes. I'm not sure why there are so many in Korea. I don't know why, to be honest. Okay. And finally, I know you guys are so bored of that. But okay, coming up, our next bunch of Zoom classes. So next week, for Global English students and Global English students only, I'm going to be doing Zoom classes. Please come to your Zoom class at the normal time that we have class. Please come to the Zoom class at the normal time we have class. Turn on your camera and be ready to talk at least 3 times if you want the full participation credit. Okay, so please come. And if you don't come, I'm going to post it on our class, on the NAMSOL portal, okay, on the NAMSOL portal. So please check that NAMSOL portal for the class and watch it. That's going to be, we're going to count this as your, Children's Day makeup class, the Children's Day makeup class. So makeup class is going to go in there. It's going to go in there, okay? So you have to attend this, or you have to watch the video after you attend it next week. I'm going to post the video of that class, and you have to watch all of it to get the attendance score for that week. Okay, so you have to either come to Zoom. I want you to come to Zoom because that's how you get participation points, or watch the video. If you don't watch the video and you don't come to class, then you don't get the attendance. You don't get your attendance for that week, okay? And then remember, on the week of June 26th to 22nd to 26th, which will be your final week here, we are going to do a test, okay? Since we're not in class, we're not going to do a presentation. So I was gonna have you guys do like a video or something, but I don't really know how useful that is. I don't know, but I'm going to you're gonna take a test, okay? So you can guess what kind of things might be on the test. Do you remember? We talked a lot about comparative superlatives. We talked about things, different present tense of verb and past tense of verbs, some grammar things, some expressions, and of course your vocabulary, which we always spend a lot of time going over. Okay, so again, if you have questions, please check it out. It's gonna be posted on our class portal, my class portal, on the final week of class. You have 3 days to take it, and you can't take it late because you got to get it to get the grade, right? You have to get it to get the grade. So please do it on the final week. It is the week of June 22nd to June 26th. Understand? Okay, if you don't understand, important, send me a message and we'll talk about it. Okay, don't forget Zoom class next week. Check your cameras, check your microphones, make sure you do your makeup and take a shower and eat breakfast because we're going to be talking that day. Okay, guys, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.